Okay, now this feels weird, so unique, because I'm actually using Kieran's phone to do this today. But yeah, I'm determined to do 2 more chapters. So that goes the back here. Let me work on this bit. Okay, so this is chapter 6. I'd like to do at least up to chapter 10 today, so that's going to be at least 2 more wash loads. Okay. Chapter 6. Sean Joffrey came to take Mum and me out for Sunday lunch. He was 20 minutes late. Well, this is rubbish, said Mum. What's he playing at, eh? Don't ask me, I said. Mum went to the window for the 20th time and peered down to the parking bays far below. Nope, still no sign of him. How dare he mess us about like this? And he hasn't even texted. She checked her phone yet again. It's a bit rude, isn't it, Mum? I tried looking annoyed too, but instead I was fizzing over with happiness. Mum can't stand people being late, and she goes nuts if they completely fail to turn up. Mum says it's because at the dumping ground she used to spend most of her weekends waiting at the window for her mum to come. It looked as if Sean Joffrey had blown it. There would be a big row and Mum would break it off, and then it would be all his fault, not mine. Mum would get over him in 2 minutes tops, and then we'd be back to normal. I wanted to whirl round our flat, whooping with joy. But just then Mum jumped, actually banging her head against a window. There he is! Look, see? The red Porsche SUV. You couldn't be more flash, eh? Look at all the kids running and gawping. I came and peered too, my heart sinking. He seemed so big, even way down on the ground where everyone looked like dolls' house dolls. He was holding a big bunch of flowers too. How cheesy. We watched him disappear out of sight as he hurried towards the lifts. Then, almost immediately, he bobbed back into sight again. What? Said Mum. Has he changed his mind? Maybe, I said, crossing my fingers. But he was striding on to the side of the Marlborough Tower. Uh-oh, I guess the lifts have broken down again, said Mum. He'll be knackered by the time he makes it all the way up here. But don't be disappointed if he gives up halfway, I said, not quite giving up hope. But within minutes there was a knock at the door. There he was, grinning sheepishly behind the enormous bunch of flowers, barely out of breath. Bit of a climb, that, he said. I'm sorry I'm late, babe. Don't call me babe, said Mum, huffily. Sean Joffrey tried to kiss her, but she turned her head away. For goodness sake, you're half an hour late. Well, I had to hunt down some flowers for you, didn't I? The proper florist was shut, and look what I've got you, kid. He pulled a bunch of chocolates out from under his armpit, inside his jacket. The chocolates were protected by their gold box, and he didn't seem sweaty, but I still recoiled in disgust. They were the expensive kind, plain chocolate with weird fancy fillings. Mum was still glaring, but she gave me a nudge. Say thank you for the lovely chocolates, Jess. It feels unique. I'm not used to it, having this Android phone. To be honest, I like big. You know how I like big? So I prefer my phone, to be honest, because bigger is always better to my book. So each their own, but all on Sunday I miss my phone. So yeah, I kind of like having your phone, but I like mine better. I like a bigger phone. And it's not cracked. Yours is cracked. And the screen is small. I think that's the reason why I like a bigger phone, is because the screen is bigger. And another thing about your phone. Oh yeah, it is small. Anyway, the screen is smaller. I like a big screen. Why do you think I went for a 62-inch telly? Why do you think I went for a phablet? It's because the screen is bigger, and I like bigger screen. And maybe that's why I like a bigger phone, it's because of the screen. Oh yeah, and also, your phone doesn't hold a charge very well. I can see why it dies very quickly. Mine lasts longer than yours. That I've noticed. Because I took it off charge and I watched like an hour of YouTube, I was already on 80%. I was like, 80 already. Because mine would still be on 90 odd. So your phone loses its charge way too quickly. So after the meeting on Wednesday and you get your money, I'm going to suggest to you to be on a contract and be an iPhone user, because an iPhone is so much better than an Android. Oh yeah, you want your phone to be fixed? I would love that. Here's what I've been thinking. Would an Android be able to take an iPhone SIM card? Would that be possible? Because I'm thinking, here's my thought process, alright? If your big Android phone will hold my iPhone SIM card, I'm thinking about putting some money towards getting it fixed. And then I will have that, so I can actually say I have the bigger phone. And then you'll have my iPhone. If that makes sense. If you want. But we'll see. We'll see if an Android can take an iPhone. I don't think it can, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll have to see. We'll have to Google it and research the heck out of it to see if it actually will take an iPhone SIM card. And if it does, then I'll happily pay for the screen to be fixed, and I will take that phone. And you'll have to put your SIM card into my phone, which it kind of looks like it might fit because you do have a small SIM card. But we'll see. But the only reason I will give you my phone is because the only way I'll let you have my phone, the one I've got now, and me getting your your big phablet, is if you get a protector for it, because I will pay for it to get fixed, because I know that's cracked already, my phone. So I will pay for that to get fixed as well. But the only way I will happily give you my iPhone, so you'll have an iPhone. But I will still be paying for it, obviously. Actually, won't it be an Android? I'll be switching to an Android. We'll see. That's a future thing I'm gonna look into, is getting your phablet. Okay, back to the book. Stop distracting me! I'm going back to the book. Back to the book. Okay, I get it. Can I get back to the book yet? Kieran, can I get back to the book? Thank you. Thank you for the lovely chocolates, Mr. Godfrey, I mumbled. Hey, what's with this Mr. Joffrey business? I'm Sean, he said, looking hurt. Yes, well, she's being polite, said Mum. Unlike you, I bet it wasn't the flowers that made you so late. You went out with your mates after the match, didn't you? Don't yell at me, Trace. I've got a bit of a headache, he said. No wonder. How much did you drink last night, eh? John Joffrey looked at me and winked. She's really fierce, your mum, isn't she? No, she's not, I said, which was the biggest fib I've ever told in my life. But as if I'd ever side with Sean Joffrey against Mum. He pulled a face at me, and I pulled one back. Stop it, you two, Mum snapped. You're both total amateurs when it comes to face pulling anyway. She made her point by pulling the most horrendous face ever, crossing her eyes and wrinkling up her nose, and letting her tongue loll. Mum, I squealed, I've always hated her pulling faces. When I was little, I was scared that my old smiley mum would never come back. I think I was feeling that way again because my real mum would never ever go out with a guy like Sean Joffrey. Tracy, he yelled, pull off by the face too. Put off by the face too. Put your face straight. You're frightening the kid. I may. I'll go off you sharpish if I have to look at that ugly mug another second. What you mean? This is my fay, said Mum, her voice scarily distorted because her tongue was in the wrong place. Please stop it, Mum, I whined, though I was starting to hope that if she carried on like that, Sean Jeffrey might really go off her. He just started laughing. Don't worry, Jess, I'll sort your mum out, he said. We'll tickle her, eh? I snorted. Mum isn't the slightest bit ticklish. When we're sprawled on the sofa, I tickle her feet and she doesn't even wiggle. But Sean Jeffrey started tickling her neck, and she squirmed and scrunched up. And suddenly her face was back to normal, and she was shouting at him. But she was laughing too. He was laughing back. They were getting all lovey-dovey. I went and sat on the old rickety chair in the corner. What's up, Jess? Come on, put your coat on. What do you fancy for lunch, eh? Sean's taking us to the Chestnut, said Mum. Leave off now, Sean. No more tickling. What's a chestnut? A pub? I asked. I'm not allowed in pubs. They're going to make me stay outside on one of those wooden benches with a packet of crisps. Don't be daft. It's a proper restaurant. It's a gourmet pub with a fantastic meal. I looked it up online. It does all kinds of fancy stuff, but there's a special kids menu, and they do macaroni cheese, your favourite, said Mum. I don't want any lunch, actually. I feel a bit sick, I said. Mum glared at me. Let's go and find your jacket, Jess, she says, sounding fierce. She took my hand, pulled me into my bedroom, and pushed me down on my bed. Now listen to me, she hissed, her face very close to mine. Don't act like a spoiled brat. You're being a right pain. Sean will think you're always like this. He's trying ever so hard, Jess. Just stop this play acting and perk up, okay? I really do feel sick. I truly don't want any lunch, I insisted. Don't spoil it all, Jess, please, Mum begged. I'm not spoiling anything, I said. Look, you and him go out to this chestnut place. I'll be fine here. I'll just lie down and have a sleep. As if I'd ever leave you on your own. Well, take me to Cam's then. She'll look after me. Jess, you're coming with us. Put your coat on. End of, said Mum. So I had to go. I have to admit, I felt a little bit thrilled when I got into Sean Joffrey's fancy car and all the kids were out playing gawped enviously. I wished Tyrone was there, but he lived in Derbyshire Tower, and kids from there hardly ever hung out with us Marlborough lot. Mum obviously loved showing off the car, and Sean Joffrey was causing quite a stir. Some of the older boys even asked for a selfie, and their dads, even a couple of mums. He loved it too, making a fuss with the kids, telling the guys about the hat-trick he scored at some boring football match, and chatting up the mums. That made Mum a bit restless. Are we going for this meal or not? She asked. Sorry, ladies, gotta go. Taking the family out, he said, jumping into the car. I'm not his family. I hated him saying that. I looked at Mum. She was looking so different. She looked pretty. I couldn't work out if it was because she was wearing more makeup than usual or because she was wearing a new red dress. She didn't have any money for a new dress. I had a sinking feeling that Sean Jeffrey had bought it for her. Then I realized it wasn't the makeup or the dress. It was her expression. She looked so happy. I suddenly felt helpless. She loved me more than anyone, probably 10 times more than Sean Joffrey. But I'd never made her look like that. It didn't make me like Sean Joffrey. It made me dislike him more than ever. Though after that, I tried not to spoil her day. I still felt sick. In fact, sitting in the back of Sean Joffrey's car, whizzing along at about 100 miles an hour, well, I felt like it, made me feel dizzy, and I had to just sit very still and my eyes closed to stop myself heaving. Jess, are you all right, love? Mum asked. Just a bit sleepy, I murmured. She's not going to throw up, is she? Sean Joffrey asked anxiously. She's fine, said Mum, but she sounded anxious too. I started to work out a contingency plan. When I was little, I was sick in my dad's car, and It still smelled a bit the next time he came to collect me. Now I saw a copy of Gossip on the back seat. I opened it up on my lap, thinking I could always be sick into it. Then I realized that I was staring at a photo of Sean Joffrey on the Who's At the Party page. Of course, he was wearing a ridiculous suit, silver grey and terribly tight, with a midnight blue shirt. He was clinking glasses with Shady Ford White, the actress who used to be in EastEnders. I was just a tiny bit impressed that Sean Jeffrey went to posh parties and was friends with a famous TV star. But then the sick feeling came back worse than ever, and I was in danger of spattering them both. The car turned sharp right into the pub car park. The second we stopped, I got out and stood with my head over my mouth, hand over my mouth. "Oh, you poor love," said Mum. "Here, lean on me. Breathe deeply in and out. Come on, you really do feel poorly, don't you? Look at her, Sean. She's white as a sheet." "Perhaps she's just hungry," said Sean Joffrey. Mum snorted irritably, and I felt just a little better. Breathing deeply helped. The sick feeling lessened, and then floated right away. I felt okay again. I suddenly felt relatively hungry. It was very annoying. I hated Sean Joffrey being right. Still, I was now quite keen to go into the pub. It wasn't a bit like the Duke's Arms down the road from us. Mum didn't let me go there, but I peered inside. It was very dark, which was just as well because the chairs were shabby and the carpet stained. There was a television screen taken up one wall, and the guys watched all the big matches. It was always very noisy. Whenever there was no football, they played pop music. The music was brief and to the point. Fish and chips and mushy peas, pie, beans and chips, sausage and mash and onion gravy. The chestnut was very light and airy, the walls painted different shades of white and grey, with a contrasting olive green carpet. The tables were of very pale wood, each with a glass vase of real flowers. They didn't have any television on at all, and they just played very soft piano music. There was a proper menu in a leather case, plus a chartboard of today's specials. All the meals sounded special. They had any number of roasts on offer because it was Sunday, and a list of thoughtfully described alternatives. They told us about the fish of the day and waxed lyrical about its sauce. And all the chips were triple cooked. They were pies filled with birds, just like that old nursery rhyme, sing a song of sixpence. Only the birds in the pie were pheasants and partridge, not blackbirds. There were sausages too, but there were descriptions of the type of pig they came from, which put you off because you didn't want to think about the animals when you are eating them. I was grateful for the children's menu with its macaroni cheese, although it turned out to be a bit weird. The pasta was twice the normal size, and the cheese sauce didn't taste like the packet sort. I wasn't sure if I liked it or not, but I ate it anyway. Mom fancied fish, so Sean Joffrey insisted she try the Dover sole, which was extraordinarily expensive. I thought she had finished, but then she turned it over and found there was another half underneath. Mom ate and ate and ate and said it was delicious. Sean Joffrey had a 21-day aged steak. I never knew steak came in ages. We had puddings too. I just asked for vanilla ice cream because I felt quite full up. It came in 3 scoops with violets on top. I didn't know you could eat flowers. I wasn't sure about the ice cream either. It had little black dots in it, which put me off. Jean Joffrey saw me peering at them and said they were little vanilla pods. I nodded, as if I'd known that all along. Mum chose chocolate mousse, which came in 3 flavors, dark, milk, and white, with cream and a little doll-sized shortbread finger. Jean Joffrey had something called Eton mess, and it looked a bit of a mess too, because the meringue part was all broken, and he said it was meant to look like that. "How did you get to know all this fancy stuff?" Mum asked when he was choosing wine for her. "You pick it up, don't you?" said Sean Joffrey. "I was only 19 when I started playing professionally, and my idea of a good meal was a few pints of beer and a curry down the Italian. But the other lads in the team soon took me in hand. So that's what you're doing with me, is it? Take me in hand, Mum asked. It would be a foolish bloke who tried to take a girl like you in hand, Tracy Beaker, he said. He was right there. I suppose he was an advantage of knowing Mum from when she was a little girl. When she spilled a little bit of cream down the front of her red dress, he rushed to the cloakroom to wipe it off. Sean Godfrey shook his head at me. Do you know something, Jess? He asked. What? I said wearily. I can't believe I'm sitting here with Tracy Beaker, he said, and her daughter. Well, you're not, I says. Mum's in the ladies. You know what I mean. When I was a tough little toe rag, I had this mad crush on your mum. Mind you, she was tough then. I was a big lad and a bit of a bully, but she wasn't scared of me. In fact, I was secretly scared of her, he said chucklingly. A lot of people are, I said. Your mum says you've pulled up with a big tough lad like I was. I was outraged. I hated to think that Mum had been talking to Sean Jeffrey about me, telling him all my secrets. I don't know who you mean, I said. Tyrone, he said triumphantly. Tyrone wasn't the slightest bit like Sean Jeffrey. He wasn't slick with wit and cocky. He wasn't even particularly good at football. Sean Jeffrey was talking rubbish. And if Mum had blabbed about Tyrone to him, what else had she been saying? Had she told him that I still took a cuddly toy to bed? Had she shared our special jokes? Had she told him that I sometimes had nightmares and had to climb into bed with her? I had a sudden terrible thought. I swallowed so hard my teeth clanked on my ice cream spoon. I wouldn't be able to climb into bed with Mum anymore. Not if there was a great big lump stuck under the duvet with her. What's up, kid? He asked. Is the ice cream making your teeth hurt? I bit, I says, because it was simplest. You scared of the dentist? When I was a kid, I never went. Half my teeth weren't rotten, and I didn't like to smile. But I've got this fabulous dentist now. See, my gnashes? He flashed his bright white teeth proudly. He looked like the wolf in Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, Sean Joffrey, how big your teeth are, all the better to eat you up. It was a huge relief when Mum came back with a damp spot on the front of her dress. Did you fix it, babe? Sean Joffrey asked. Don't call me babe. No, it just won't budge, and it's such a lovely dress, too, said Mum. Never mind, I'll buy you another one. Red again? Because it really suits you. It's okay, I'll just make this one to the dry cleaners. You're determined to be independent, aren't you? Come on, Tracy, I'm desperate to buy you a whole wardrobe of dresses. And dress, too. What's your favourite colour, Jess? Slime green, I said quickly. John Jeffrey looked surprised, but nodded as if I really meant it. On top of everything else, he was a bit thick. Whatever did Mum see in him? When he paid the astonishing large lunch bill, he gave the waitress a huge great tip, too. She went all wobbly like jelly and thrust her notepad at him to autograph, and he let her have a selfie. Then more waitresses clamored for one, and the blushing waiter, too. Mum rolled her eyes. I did, too. Sean Joffrey didn't even play football anymore. It wasn't like he was a real celebrity, even though his photo was in gossip. Afterwards, he drove us to his house. It was like a real celebrity mansion, set in a private road with an electronic gate, and then a long driveway. There it was, very big and brash, with lots of steps leading up to the front door, and a glass extension with a tortoise swimming pool glittering inside. Isn't it fantastic, Jess? Mum murmured to me. There are 7 bedrooms. Have you been in them all? I asked fiercely. No, don't be cheeky now. Wait till you see the kitchen. You could fit our entire flat in it twice over, and the conservatory is just like Kew Gardens. Mum insisted on showing me around. We even had a peep in at his private study. It wasn't really impressive. It was all so bright and showy, it made my eyes ache. and it didn't even seem like a real home because it was so incredibly neat. My dad's place is a mess of old newspapers and coffee cups and beer cans, and he leaves his clothes everywhere, even his smelly old trainers. Sean Godfrey's house is immaculate. Mum showed me his walk-in wardrobe. All his shirts were on special hangers, and his jumpers were carefully folded and stacked, and his shoes were arranged in a long row as if they were about to start line dancing. Incredible, isn't it? Said Mum. He's got someone who cleans, but Sean does all the tidying. Sean Joffrey heard, but he didn't seem to mind. I like everything to be in its place, he said. When I was a kid, our house was a mess, and my mum couldn't be bothered to clean. It used to drive me nuts. It's great to have my own place where I can keep it looking nice. I even dust and vacuum my study, even though Rosaline does every day. It just gives me a kick to know that it's all mine. I thought Mum would scoff, but she knew all soft again. Oh, Sean, you've come a long way since we played house together with our cardboard box furniture, she said, and she gave his arm a squeeze. I went to the window and stared at the pool. I didn't want to see Mum and Sean Joffrey kissing. The turquoise water sparkled invitingly in the sunlight. All around it were slanted wooden lounges padded with brilliant white towels. We went swimming once a week with the school. I hated the journey because I didn't always get a partner and had to walk with Miss Oliver, looking up right Billy mermaids. The pool we went to was very old. You could still see the name Duke Street Public Swimming Baths painted on the brickwork, although it was called the Duke Leisure Centre now. The changing rooms were old too, and they weren't very clean. It wasn't nice taking off your shoes and socks because you might find yourself standing on clumps of wet hair or a used plaster. I didn't mind the swimming part though. I could already swim because Mum had taken me when I was quite little. I even liked putting my head under the water. I sometimes swam a few strokes below the surface, pretending I was a mermaid. But Miss Oliver blew her whistle because she didn't want anyone copying me and drowning. I was allowed to swim a length, which was lovely, but you always had to watch out for someone else barging into you. And whether you lifted your head out of the water, there was this loud echoing yell from all the other children. I imagined swimming in Sean Joffrey's Senra silent pool. Do you fancy a swim, Jess? Asked Mum, standing beside me. I shrugged. I haven't bought any swimming costume, I says. I wasn't going to swim in front of Sean Joffrey and my niggers. I brought it with me in my shoulder bag. And mine, said Mum. Sean will lend us towels, won't you? Is he going in too? I whispered. He had sharp ears. Nah, I'm not that fussed about swimming. I'll go in the jacuzzi and let you girls have the pool to yourselves, he said. He's not actually that great at swimming, Mum said, when we were chatting in one of the 7 bedrooms. We could both beat him, easy peasy. So what does he want a pool for? Just to show off? I said, stepping into my costume. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? Mum was putting on a white bikini. That's new, I said. It's only Primark, she said. So you want to show off too? Stop being so lippy. Mum looked at herself in the mirror. Actually, I haven't got much to show off. You should see some of the girls down at Sean's gym. They're fantastic figures, and they're all the same shade of honey brown with beautiful long blonde hair. It makes you sick. I can't imagine what Sean sees in me. You're much better than any girl at his gym. You're Tracy Beaker, Mum, I said. Oh, Jess, you crack me up sometimes, she said, giving me a hug. Come on then, let's go and swim. The pool was glorious. The water was soft and silky, and it didn't smell of chlorine. Sean Joffrey sat in the jacuzzi and watched us for a while, which was a bit off-putting, but then we got out and went to have a shower. So we had the whole pool area to ourselves. We swam, we floated, we dived down to the bottom and bobbed up, spouting water like dolphins. We played at being mermaids. Then Sean Joffrey came back wearing a white dressing gown and flip-flops. He was carrying a tray of fancy drinks with straws and little paper umbrellas. Cocktails, ladies? He said, pretending to be a waiter. We dried ourselves with great fluffy towels, and then lounged on the chairs, sipping our drinks. Mine was pomegranate juice with a dash of lime and cherries with a stick. It tasted very grown-up and delicious. Mum's was pink and fizzy, and she let me have a sip. It made my nose tingle. I didn't like her drink anywhere near as much as mine. We posed like celebrities, and Mum took heaps of photos of us to put on Instagram. Then we showered and got dressed again, and John Joffrey asked if we'd like to watch a movie. I thought he'd just put a DVD on in the television, but he went downstairs into a room that looked like an actual cinema. There was an enormous screen that took up one whole wall, and a lovely great squashy sofa. We had heaps and heaps of films to choose from. I couldn't make up my mind. Okay, I'll choose, said Mum. Well, watch my favourite, The Wizard of Oz. I groaned. Mum always chooses that film. I quite like it, but we've already watched it heaps of times. Sean Joffrey groaned too. I ordered all those Disney princess films, especially for you, Jess, he said. We'll watch them another time. Let's see The Wizard of Oz, please, said Mum. You're still a kid at heart, aren't you, said Sean Joffrey, and she got her way. We lay back on the sofa in the dark. Mum reached out and held my hand when the twister part started. I wonder if she was holding Sean Joffrey's hand too. I couldn't really see. He was quite funny when Dorothy's house landed in Munchkinland. He sang along in this silly little voice until Mum made him shut up. She watches The Wizard of Oz as if it's really happening all around her. Right at the end, Glinda, the pretty pink witch, says Dorothy how to get back to Kansas. She just has to click her heels and say, "There's no place like home." Mom murmured the words along with her, her hand clenching mine. I wondered which home she was thinking of. Was it ours, or was it Sean Joffrey's? Guess what I found out yesterday? What did you find out yesterday? Because I finished this chapter. Did you find out? I'm waiting. What did you find out? The Harry Potter wands. Did Hooch eat the Harry Potter wands? Was it the Harry Potter wands, babes? The Gryffindor one. That was Kieran's. How are you feeling? That was your one. How are you feeling? Are you annoyed? Upset and I wanted to kill Hooch. Not physically. I don't blame you. I would have been annoyed as well. It's like you can't leave anything alone. Hooch wants to kill everything. I'm just so happy that you left your bedroom door closed. I'll be that. But I would check on your teddy fans now, though. I'm just glad you left your bedroom door closed. Anywho, back to the book, because I've got one more chapter to read. At least you got them. Look on the bright side. At least you got them. At least you got them. Anyway, chapter 7. So it's settled. We're going to move in with Shaw and Joffrey. They're going to get married, and my mum won't be Tracy Beaker anymore. Yes, I will, said Mum. I'm keeping my own name after I'm married. I'll always be Tracy Beaker, and you'll always be Jess Beaker, right? It's not right. Even if we do keep our own names, it'll be wrong, wrong, wrong. Cam agrees with me, and she's the one who knows Mum best after me. When Mum told her about getting married, Cam said all the right things. Oh my goodness, how lovely. It's great to see you looking so happy. That's just wonderful news. Blah, blah, blah. Then a different tone altogether, she added, are you sure? Mum said she was certain. Cam gave her a hug. When she gave me a hug too, she whispered in my ear, how about you, Jess? How do you feel? It feels funny, I whispered back. Cam didn't say much anymore, but the following Saturday, we had a day out together, just me and her. Just her and me. She got her friends, Jane and Liz, to come and keep an eye on the girls. We took the bus to Battersea and went to the zoo there, which is one of my all-time favourite places. I like the lemurs best, with their big eyes and stripy tails. I love the way they lie on their backs and sunbathe. I'd give anything to have a lemur for a pet. I like the squirrel monkeys too, with their dear little faces and soft yellow fur. I wish I could cuddle one. You're not allowed to touch them, but you can go to the petting zoo and stroke the rabbits. You can stroke the goats too if you want, but I don't really fancy it. They have yellow eyes and they smell a bit too goaty. Cam likes the pigs best. I think they used to be mini pigs, but they've grown into great big giant pigs. They like to have their backs scratched. I don't blame them. I like to have my back scratched too. We washed our hands very thoroughly indeed on our way out of the petting zoo. You have to if you touched any of the animals. Then we walked through the park and sat on a bench in the sun, and Cam produced a picnic out of her backpack. We each had a cheese and tomato sandwich and a little banana and cream cheese roll, and then a carrot, an apricot slice, and an apple, and with elderflower cordial to drink. You make very good picnics, Cam, I said. Did you make them for Mum when she was little? She was more of a McDonald's girl. I used to take her there for a treat, said Cam. Did she get lots of treats? Her mum sometimes bought her a whole load of stuff. My Granny Carly buys me stuff too, but it's always the wrong stuff, I said. When I told her I wanted a dog, she gave me this huge mechanical toy dog that moves its head and lies down and makes woofy noises. But then it went wrong and flopped over on one side, and the woof noise sounded more like a growl. I didn't like it anymore, and Mum had it put in a cupboard, but I still knew it was there in the dark, waiting to get me. Oh yes, I remember that dog. I thought it looked rather scary, said Cam. Still, I suppose it was a thoughtful present. But she often forgets my birthday altogether. She remembers me at Christmas. She buys me clothes, mostly frilly party dresses that are too small. I'm hardly ever asked to parties anyway. There was one with a man who bought animals to show us, but when it was my turn to hold that rabbit, it weighed all down my party dress and spoiled it. Oh dear, said Cam. I suppose she's trying to dress you up a bit because she likes to look girly too, even at her age. She says I look as if Mum kits me out at a jumble sale, I said. Charming, said Cam. I think your clothes look great, Jess. I did get my jacket from a jumble, actually. Bargain, said Cam. Anyway, you'll be able to get heaps of new clothes if you're living with Sean Joffrey. I don't want any clothes from him, I said. You still don't think much of him, Cam asked. That's right. For any particular reason? I thought hard. Does he ever get cross with you? I shook my head. Does he ignore you when he's with your mum and you? I shook my head again. Does he make too much of a fuss of you? Another shake of the head. Does he act the fool? Shake. You know, little Noddy. Well, you've turned into little Shaky, said Cam. I laughed and felt a bit better. It's okay, I suppose, though. I think he looks stupid. He suits, and he's got his flash red car and a great big mansion. I don't want to live there, even though he's got a swimming pool. I don't have to live there, do I, Cam? Well, I think your mum's got her heart set on it, and she's got her heart set on him too. Do you like him? I asked. Well, I don't really know him that well. He was a bit of a lout when he was a kid, but I don't think that was necessarily his fault. He's very smooth and Jack the lad now. He does seem very, very fond of your mum, and I suppose that's all that matters, said Cam, and she seems very, very fond of him. I said. Is that why you don't like him? Cam asked. Maybe, I said, looking down on my knees. Come here, said Cam, and she put her arm around me and pulled me close. You'll always come first with your mum. She loves you with all the love in the world. Then why aren't I enough? Why does she want Sean Joffrey too? I mumbled against her shirt. She wants to be a family. But we are one, are we, old? I know, but she wants a bloke too. Why? You don't want a bloke, do you, Cam? No, said Cam, laughing. I never really fancied blokes. Don't you fancy anyone? I asked. Oh, give it a rest, Jess. Liz and Jane kept quizzing me, wanting me to hook up with someone, but I'm just fine the way I am, said Cam. Me too, I said. Cam, if I really can't bear living with Sean Joffrey, could I come and live with you and all your girls? Yes, of course you can, though I'm not sure what your mum would say. She wants me to be her bridesmaid, but I don't want to wear a fully dress and look daft, I said. She wants me to walk her down the aisle, and I'll look daft no matter what I wear, said Cam. I'm the one who gives the bride away. Well, that's easy peasy. Don't give Mum away. Keep her just for us, I said firmly. Cam laughed and ruffled her hair. I squirmed. Yeah, your mum's always hated me doing that too, she says, but you've both got such lovely, bouncy, wild, curly hair. I can't help it, poodle hair. I rolled my eyes. Woof, woof, I said. Hey, I've just thought of something, Cam said excitedly. If you and your mum go and live with Sean Joffrey, you'll be able to have a dog at last. Really? Like an actual poodle? Whatever breed you like, or you might prefer a mixture. I know where we'll go. Let's check out Betty Dogs and Cats Home. They have heaps of rescue dogs looking for a home. Oh, let's! We went through the park. I kept pulling on Cam's hand to make her go faster. By the time we got there, we were both out of breath. Then we walked round all the kennels, looking very slowly now, so I could talk to every dog. There were great big huskies and weeny little chihuahuas and all sizes of dog in between. Some were friendly. They came rushing up to the bars and tried to lick us. Others were anxious and barked a lot. A few seemed sad and lay on their beds looking mournful. I wanted each and every one, especially the sad sort. Do you think I could have two? I asked Cam. Or maybe even three? Sean Jeffrey's got lots of spare rooms. They could have a room each. I think you better start off with one, she said. But I can't choose. Hey, Cam, when you first went to Mum's children's home, did you find it hard to choose which child you wanted? I wasn't looking for anyone. I was just there to write an article. But you chose Mum anyway, I said. No, she chose me, said Cam. And did you take her home straight away? I had to have a very careful think about it, and so did all her care workers. You can't just make a snap decision over something as important as that, said Cam. After we'd been round twice, and enjoyed a detour to the cattery, I knew exactly which dog I wanted. It wasn't very big, it wasn't very small. He was exactly the right size. He was a beautiful black terrier, with his fur almost as curly as my hair. He didn't rush over to lick me, but he didn't bark at me either. He lay on his bed with a cuddly toy and a rubber bone. looking very sweet with just a little bit sad. Outside his kennel was a sign with his name on. Alfie. Alfie, I called softly, as not to frighten him. Hey, Alfie! He looked up at me with his big brown eyes. It was just as if he'd recognized me. He jumped up and came trotting over. Oh, come look, he likes me. Oh, please, 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 can I have Alfie? It wasn't as simple as that. It was just like Cam fostering Mum. For a start, the Battersea people wanted to meet Mum and talk it over with her too. And John Joffrey because it was his house. But it's not going to be his dog, I whispered to Cam. No, Alfie will be your dog, she said. But she was looking anxious. Oh dear, we should have talked it over with them first. I should know better. So we can't take Alfie right away, even though he wants to come with me, I asked. Not just yet, said Cam. But what if someone else comes along and gets him first? I wailed. The Baggsy lady says they would reserve Alfie for me, so long as Mum and Sean Joffrey and I came back soon. The moment Mum came to pick me up from Cam's that evening and said, Are we going to see Sean Joffrey tomorrow? Why are we using surnames? Jessica Bluebell, Camellia Beaker, Mum asked. He is coming round though, isn't he? It's Sunday. Doesn't he want to take us to that chestnut place again? Well, I was thinking he might have a Sunday together, just you and me, said Mum. Oh, I had such a cry of despair that she gazed at me in astonishment. You want us to see Sean? We have to take him to Battersea tomorrow, I insisted. It's my fault, Tracy said Cam, looking shamefaced. I took Jess to the dogs and cats home. What? Oh, I see. That's actually quite a good idea. Great idea, in fact. When we move in with Sean, we could get a dog. We could have a cat too. Sean's got so much space. Maybe you could have a pony, Jess, said Mum. Or a donkey. I love donkeys. And what are those shaggy things with goofy faces? Alpacas. Maybe we could have a couple of them as well. I don't want any alpacas or a donkey or a pony or a cat. I just want my dog, Alfie, I said. Alfie does seem a lovely little chap, said Cam, but we have to go and get him tomorrow or someone else will choose him, I said urgently. Well, we're not moving in with Sean right away. We've got to plan it out. But as soon as we're settled, I promise we'll go to Battersea and get this Alfie. Or we'll find another dog just as special. Or even better, said Mum. Mum, I was shocked. How could you, of all people, say that? Remember when Cam went to visit the dumping ground and you wanted her to foster you? What would you have done if she said she had to plan it all out first? What if someone horrible came along and fostered you in the meantime? Big Cam would have fostered someone else, Justine Littlewood, for instance. Mama told me heaps about Justine Littlewood, another girl at the children's home. She was her worst enemy ever. She took Mum's best friend away, and they ganged up on Mum. She always sounded like the meanest girl in the world. Mum looked at me. How come you've got so good at arguing? It's because I take after you, I said. Okay, we'll go and see Alfie tomorrow. Okay, I couldn't sleep properly for thinking about him. I was planning it all out too. My very own dog. I'd love him so much. I'd take him for a long walk every day, 2 walks. I'd play ball with him and teach him tricks. Maybe he'll be really clever and he could walk up a little act together. But if he was too shy, I wouldn't force him to show off in front of anyone. I'd give him treats, but not too many because I didn't want him to get fat. We had big cuddles every day and let him sleep on the end of my bed so he would never feel lonely. Alice would think me so lucky. She and Ava had wanted a dog for ages too, but Maria wasn't keen on the idea. I'd let both play with Alfie as long as Ava wasn't too busy. Cam's girls would be dead jealous as well. I'd take Alfie with me whenever we went to visit. Alfie would play with the girls, so long as they weren't too rough. He'd make a big fuss of Cam herself, because we'd never have got together if she hadn't taken me to Battersea Dogs and Cats home. I was scared Mum might have changed her mind during the night. I slid into her bed ever so early. She put her arms around me and then almost immediately went back to sleep. No, Mom, wake up, promise. I can still go and fetch Alfie today. Promise, promise, promise. Mum opened out one eye and squinted at her alarm clock. It's practically the middle of the night. Go back to sleep. Not till you promise we can get Alfie, I bargained. All right, I promise. If you let me go back to sleep for a bit, Mum said. Hang on a minute. Let me record you saying it on your phone. I reached out and scrubbed around in a bag. I got it out and saw that there was already a message from Sean Joffrey. I couldn't help looking at it. I wish I hadn't. It's neat, sickeningly lovey-dovey. Leave my phone alone, Mum mumbled. I promised you could fetch Alfie. Could I? If you keep on, I'm going to throw you out the window, said Mum. When have you ever known me to break a promise? I thought about it and couldn't think of a single time. You never broken a promise, I said. You're the best mum ever. But she'd already gone back to sleep. And that's it for this little bit. I could just tell there's going to be so many pause for this. Okay, I'm back. You said anything while I was gone? I am at home waiting for Mum because she was going to Heron to get some money. You enjoying the book? It is fun, isn't it? Especially if you have seen Tracy Beaker. Actually, have you seen Tracy Beaker? The story of Tracy Beaker, the children's TV show. Have you seen it? So no wonder you're enjoying this book. Have you went shopping yet? Because you go shopping today, don't you? I have forgotten. I forgot so many different things. Have you been shopping yet? Because it is 10 o'clock. You've been hoovering? Yay! Okay, I might start at the top and work my way down, I think. She does know that you're staying at mine again this week, doesn't she? Don't forget to pack my teddy friends tomorrow. That reminds me, how many of my teddy friends are at yours? Because I've forgotten. My mind is like a sieve. I don't think it's that many though. Pardon me. I honestly don't think it's that many. Why did I put Linda on that pile? Linda was mine. And you move Linda. Because Linda was mine. I'm doing it. A fair few. Well, I think what's left of your teddy friends that are here, it'll take a couple trips back and forth just because of the big ones. But with the ones on the buffet, I would say one big suitcase. Then that'll be them all gone. But like I say, you have to do at least, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4 more back and forths for you to take them all back. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go, babes, because this was meant to just be the book. So, I'll see you tomorrow. But I was hoping to keep name change for a while, only because it represents you. Yeah, oh, definitely. You can keep him. He's going to live with you. That's what's going to eventually happen. I'm going to keep some of my teddy friends with you eventually, because I can't take all my friends with me. But for instance, his family's going to be with you. For instance, Nemesis is going to stay there, and Jesse is going to move in with you. Remember? So the reason why it's going to take so many trips is because you got Jesse, you got Larry, you got Garfield, and Winnie the Pooh, and Gingerbread Bear. Those are your biggies. That's going to take one load itself, basically. So that's why I'm going to say it's still going to take another like 4 or even 6 more times. That's it, Ginger Bear. But like I say, because of these big ones, that's why it's going to take you some time. But here's the thing. When you do take Jessie home, I need to pin her dress. So I need to find a pin. I might borrow one from Tristan Ducks. And I also would like to... I need you to put her in a bag. Only because she's plastic. I don't mind name change and everyone being just carried. But when it comes to Jessie, I would rather you take 2 suitcases just for her, so she can go in a suitcase herself, because she's so old and she's so fragile. And I'm scared that something will happen to her. Because the only reason why she moved from house to house in the past is she was in a plastic bag ×2. Because there's always some padding around her. So the only way I'd let her stay with you until I live with you is if she goes in a suitcase or in a bag. Just be cautious with her. I'm thinking suitcase because if you had it in a bag, people will think you're carrying a dead body. So yeah, I need you to put it in the suitcase. Is that okay with you? Is it okay with you that happens? I'm not worried about her getting to your house. I'm worried. I trust you, her being at your house, because you're looking after the door. I'm just cautious with the getting to your house. The only way I'd let her not be in a suitcase if you pay for a taxi, basically, to get you back. That way, all she's doing is going to be outside the house to get to the taxi and then taxi to your house. Apart from that, it's just because she's so fragile. That's what I'm worried about. Alright. I'm going to have to go, babes, alright? Because this was meant to be about book. And the clothes are done. I love you so much. Bye. Love you. I've got to go.